in Southern Oregon, where Southern Oregon College, being a regional university, regional college university, was always in competition for students. And in Jackson County especially, they felt that if the college, Rogue Community College, came in there, that they would be losing some of their lifeblood in there. So there was tremendous competition. Now that was all underneath the scenes or whatnot, and on the face of it, we met together, we talked together, and all the rest of it. And that didn't come out in pitched battles or anything, but it was there. And it's not there anymore to the same extent that what's happening now is they're beginning to realize that the strength lies in partnership. And the stronger the partnership is of the four-year college and the community college, the stronger both of them are. And that's a tremendous change to have taken place in that time. But it's just typical growth pattern that
it's kind of good to see the university start to grow into
other
ways of doing things.
Yes, very true.
I want to ask a question that in some ways makes Rogue unique compared to some of the other community colleges. Since its inception all the way through till 2008, Rogue has not had an athletic program. And I know that was an issue when the college first opened up. Would you like to talk about
Yes,
about
I'd be real pleased to talk about it, because through the years I have not really talked about it to the extent that I shouldn't say that I should have, because that isn't it. I chose not to talk about it because in my own mind I had the fear. Well, let me back and give you a little background. In the beginning, even in Oregon, I mean when they did, and the Oregon community colleges are among the best in the nation. But when they came in, there was a big tendency, I think, to become little junior colleges. Not completely, but they were to copy what was there. And part of it was athletic programs. And so it's kind of hard to believe now in 2008 that several of those had football programs there. I don't even remember who they all were. Mount Hood, of course, was one, Clackamas and Treasure Valley was another one, had football programs. Well, regardless of that, there was another issue that came up, and I tumbled to it when I went to presidents' meetings. Our 13 presidents met quite often to share notes, solve problems affecting all of us, and so on. And as we went to these meetings, a large share of that time was taken up with the people trying to solve problems of what had happened with their athletic programs in competition with one another. A big part of it came from recruiting athletes from the other one's territory. And another one was paying them by way of tuition, free tuition or something of this kind to come and take part in athletics. And at the same meetings there, one of the real pioneers of community college movement in Oregon was Dr. Amo DeBernardis, the president of Portland Community College. He did more than all the rest of us combined, I think, to provide leadership for good community college programs in Oregon. And he was one who didn't like either one of these things. And he would forcefully tell these people in these meetings that if they would stop going into other people, if they would stop going out of their territory to recruit players, and if they stopped giving them inducements to play, then Portland would join them. Incidentally, Portland wasn't in this. They weren't competing. But until they did that, Portland was not going to do it, because Portland was not going out to recruit. They were not going to pay them. And if that happened, then they'd be at the bottom of the list, and the rest of them would beat up on them. And he said it's not the role of the community college to go ahead and recruit these people and have these things. Universities do it because they want an identity for their university. That's their purpose of these programs. Community colleges are different. They're, in that respect, they are like high schools that take the people within their district and give them an opportunity to participate. And we'll be glad to do that and think the rest to do. Well, his point of view made lots and lots of sense to me. And so we, so that was the reason we continued to not do it. It was and certainly as we were fighting with the limited funds that we had, we were certainly not going to put funds into athletics just because it was something to be done, because other people had done it.
Right.
See? And in that connection, there was another thing that when our college began, our administrators, there is a state law that says what community colleges should be. And I don't know how well people in community college work read this or know what's in here. But there is a passage in here that says, this is Oregon state law, this is what a community college is to be. The community college should not follow the established organizational patterns of other secondary and higher educations institutions in order to maintain a unique quality of flexibility, the ability to change to meet changing needs. So in effect, that's telling you, don't be like these other people. You do what? Well, we were founded to serve the people of Josephine County. And we would serve them, and we did serve them with intramural programs. We had teams, we had softball teams, and so on. And but we didn't compete in a league where we had to have league standings and you work for the championship and do all the rest of this. So it was not an accidental decision, and it was not all a money decision. I think it was a good community college decision.
Great. Let's take a...
The fascinating thing about this, too, is other people who have come in, and there were other people who looked at Rogue Community College, and some of them saw some of the things we were doing, and they said, well, this really isn't a community college. They don't have an athletic program. See? Well, that's just the kind of mindset that some people have of what a community college is. We were doing what a community college was supposed to do, and they didn't know it. Okay.
Athletics on campus is only one of the things that colleges get involved in, and Rogue did not. But in my days at Rogue, I remember a variety of different community activities that the college sponsored. Many of those things brought tens and hundreds of people into the campus for a variety of events. Why don't we talk a little bit about some of those?
Yes. Well, one of the things, I'll go back again to the beginning that you asked about, with so many of these topics to cover any one topic completely would go on and use up all our time. If you asked about the atmosphere in college and the new staff and everything else, there was so much enthusiasm going on for the new staff and all the rest of this that there wasn't anything we couldn't do. We could, and one of them was the old Job Corps buildings we had here, where they weren't very appealing to the eye. And so we said, well, we maybe need to paint them. Well, in the first place, we didn't have money, we didn't have a plan. They said, well, how about if we come in on the weekend and paint our building? I think Tennyson Haley was one of the people who said, we have this public service building, let's go and paint it. They said, if you want to get your staff and come in and paint it, we'll buy the paint for you. So he got his staff, came in, painted the building, I don't remember what it was, green or something, a real pretty one. And so they said, yeah, well, hey, that's great. So the library people said, well, we want the library to stand out. We want people who don't want it to be just one of these other buildings. We'll go ahead and can we paint ours? Sure, go ahead. We'll get paint for you. Nobody bothered to say what color they were going to paint it. It came out orange. But you come to work Monday morning, there's this orange building sitting down there. Well, that wasn't exactly what we had in mind. So, but anyway, the point of the story is that the staff went ahead. You didn't hire a painter to come in and do it. You rolled up your sleeves and you did it yourself. Well, the same spirit came in these other activities you're mentioning, where we somehow we came up with the idea of a pioneer fair, and and in this pioneer fair, we had invited people in to bring in, I don't know, we had a weekend or 2 weekends or something like that, about 3-day weekends, to bring in all kinds of exhibits, just like a country fair. Had examples of blacksmiths brought in their stuff. There were guys firing guns, old-fashioned guns. Clothing, they had a quilt place for people to make quilts, and sewing, spinning machines, and so on. And we turned this whole campus into a country fair type thing. And it was a great, great thing. But what it did is that, again, it was a staff who was gung-ho. We can do anything we want to, and a community that says it's our college. It's not a group of people telling us what to do. It's our college. Come on out and do it. And then another one that the college did too was the logging fairs, where we taught logging, and we'd have people on